He's got a man wide open. Can he come down with it? He does!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Inside Martinsville Football here on WREP 15 Sports and the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. I'm your host, Eric Meyer, joined by Artesian first-year head coach Brian Duggar. Coach, we appreciate you taking time to join us here today.
Hey, I'm excited to be here.
Glad to have Coach Duggar here, also the new assistant principal at MHS this year, and we are masked up here like we are following the protocol to make sure that we're modeling what we want the students to do when they get back here on campus. And fortunately, they've let our students come in here. They're masked up, socially distanced, to be able to tape this. Pleased to have Coach Duggar in here to talk a little bit about his ball club. Coach, before we get to your ball club, let's talk a little bit about your background. Most recently, Southport High School. But can you take us back and talk a little bit about what you've done football-wise, playing, and then also coaching career that you've had that led you here to Martinsville?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Franklin Central graduated in 2002. I was a three-sport athlete there. Played football, basketball, and baseball. Played quarterback and receiver for the Flashes. After going to college, after high school, instead of going and playing at like Division III, Division II schools, I decided to go to IU. Where I was lucky enough to get on as a student coach and a assistant director of football operations for Terry Hepner and Bill Lynch, and really great experience working at the Division I level at the Big Ten, kind of seeing what that was all about. Learned a lot, and then was fortunate enough to get on with Bill Peebles at Southport High School 13 years ago. I coached corners for a couple years, DBs. I was a special teams coordinator for 6 years, and then moved to offense after my second year, where I coached receivers, and then became the offensive coordinator 8 years ago.
You've
7 years ago, something like that.
You've had a ton of experience there at Southport and a ton of some very good players. I know you guys have produced a string of really good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Marion and a couple that went to Ball State as well.
Yeah, I think the Indy Star at one point in time was calling us quarterback high school is what they were calling us in one of the Indy Star articles, which was kind of cool. Yeah, we had three really, really good quarterbacks that I had the pleasure of coaching. Luke Johnson shattered the record books, was a 3-year starter for us. Went to Marion and started as a freshman there and led them to a couple national championship games. Eddie Schott was a 3-year starter after him, and he broke a lot of Luke's records, so that was kind of fun. He's now at Ball State. And then Ryan Lazan actually was a starting 3-year starter at tight end H-back for us, and then as a senior, he moved over to play quarterback for us, and he still put up 2,700 yards passing. So we've had really, really good success throwing the ball and spinning around, and hope to continue that.
Hope to continue that here at Martinsville. Maybe they'll call us quarterback U or quarterback high school, I guess. Yeah. At some point, it wouldn't be good to call us quarterback U. That would have the wrong connotation. But anyway, if we can get there, that'd be awesome. We got a couple of quarterbacks that are pretty good and stable this year, and we'll talk about them later in the show. But the next obvious question is, why MHS? Why did you decide to come here to Martinsville High School as head coach?
Martinsville it reminds me a lot of the town I grew up in. Franklin Township, even though it's out in Indianapolis, in the Marion County, Indianapolis area, it's still kind of small town feel. And everybody is committed to the football program there at FC. And, you kind of hear about all the stuff here at Martinsville, and, talking to Coach Whitson a little bit, who's a personal friend of mine, just the overall involvement and just the commitment to the football program as a community, not even as a school or administration, just as a community and how involved everyone is. Really brought the attention to me. And then you obviously look at what Carter had done and what they had built here and kind of the stepping stones that were kind of established. Felt like a really, really good fit for me. And that's really been backed up by just my short time here and how much, the involvement of people and the community and the businesses and everyone around that just wants to be a part of the football program. So I feel like I made a great choice and I'm in the right spot for myself.
And I know you've got really a big family guy as well, a couple of kids and your wife, and I'm sure that they had a little bit that played into the factor of that decision as well.
Yeah. My wife and I, we have 2 kiddos. We have a daughter named Delaney. She's 4 years old, and our son Will is just turned 1 recently. So My daughter Delaney will run the field. She'll be at practice at some point once all this mask stuff is over. But she'll be out there. She'll be at all the games. She loves to run around and have a good time. So she'll be a celebrity out there for a lot of people.
So it'll be awesome to see once we get out on the field in that home opener, which will come up next Friday against Bloomington South, as the Artesians will entertain the Panthers. Well, you get the head coaching job, and you're ready to get started, and then bam, COVID-19 hits.
Yep.
How difficult was that for you trying to transition from Southport, e-learning Southport, now being the head coach at Martinsville?
The nice thing is it wasn't just me dealing with it. The entire state had to deal with it. The entire country had to deal with it. So it wasn't just like we were behind everybody else. Where it became really hard was I didn't have contact with the kids. I wasn't able to reach out and call them. I wasn't able to kind of have conversations with them and establish, kind of what plans were, even though there weren't plans. So it became really tough to kind of get a plan together and really keep the kids involved. So tried to go out of my way with communication with parents and players and staff as much as I can. But that was really the hard part was the communication aspect and not really, being able to do anything. You're kind of just waiting back and waiting to be told when you could go, and kind of felt like a caged animal. We're ready to let us out, and I could tell the kids were the same way, and just it was frustrating.
And I know we were in the same boat with everybody else, but to throw on top of that, you're coming into a different system the kids are going to have to learn. I know Carter threw it around the yard like you're going to throw it around the yard as well at times, but the terminology is different. I've talked to some of the kids, and that's what they have talked about a little bit. Some of the terminology is different. That's normal things, but it puts you in a situation where now with limited contact, even less than you usually get, those kids had a lot really to catch up and learn early on when you actually were able to communicate with them.
Yeah, and to their credit, we did a lot of Zoom meetings. We were doing 4 Zoom meetings a week, 2 for offense, 2 for defense, and the attendance was great. The kids were there almost every single time. They committed to it, and they really bought into the idea of, like you said, they had to learn the system and learn the terminology. Because Carter and I do some similar things. It's just I call it one thing, he calls it another, and it was just they had to kind of learn the way that I do things. And it's still taking it. There's still times and still practices, even right now, where we're doing something. I'm like, whoa, why are we doing that? And I'm like, well, that's just how we do it. Oh, no, I want it done. We kind of go through that whole process. And they've been real receptive. They've done a great job. It's just, it's a process.
It's a process trying to get through it, obviously made more difficult by the COVID. How did that preseason to what a normal preseason plan would look like for you? Obviously, it's your first the head coaching job, but in terms of what normally would happen that you've experienced at Southport as to what you had available to you this year, how different were those 2 preseasons from a normal to this year?
So the big thing for us is, we met as a staff, and you kind of look at the playbook and you kind of look at what's on there, and you kind of realize that if you're going to try and do it all in that short amount of time, you're not going to be really good at anything. So rather than just try to throw the whole offense at the kids, we kind of pick parts of it. So it's kind of a process where we said, all right, we're going to be really, really good at these 4 or 5 things, and then we're going to add pieces as we go. That was probably the biggest change, where in the summer you have June normally and kind of put in this and then install this, and then the next kind of just build your offense as you go. And we're kind of having to do that late. And right now we're just becoming what I would consider kind of experts at a few things, and then we can start to build. Whereas that would have happened more in June, and then July more to tinker with things, and then August to kind of really crisp and clean it up. And that's kind of where things are at. That's been the biggest issue from as far as installing and kind of putting together your offense during the COVID times.
Well, let's take a little bit more of a closer look at some of the things that you're going to do this year and what the fans are going to see on the field when they get the chance to go on the live streams if they can't get here as well. And let's talk offensively. When Coach Whitson came here to Martinsville, that was what he was known for. If you watched Oklahoma play, you kind of saw what they did. They up-tempo. Obviously, if anybody pays attention to high school football at Indiana or around Indianapolis, they know what Southport's done with the success you've had the past couple of years. But can you talk a little bit about what your offense is going to look like, what you like to do, and what people can see on Friday nights?
Yeah, absolutely. We're a tempo offense too. Maybe not quite as tempo as Carter was. Coach Whitson he would play fast. That was his mentality. So we want to be fast as well, but we're also gonna make sure we know what we're doing. So we're an on the ball. We call everything from the line of scrimmage. We put a lot of responsibility on our quarterbacks. They're gonna make a lot of decisions, a lot of different calls at the line. They're an extension of me on the field, and that's we've had a lot of success at Southport with that, with those quarterbacks, and the kids that I got now, I feel like are completely capable of that. It's just been a process with that. But as far as kind of our offense and kind of what we do and what we're at, I always kind of say we're a spread offense, but we're multiple. Like, people talk about like what a multiple offense. Well, you can do multiple things, and I'm not stubborn. I'm going to do what we're good at. We broke all the passing records when we had Eddie Schott and Luke Johnson, but we also broke all the rushing records when we had a running back named Christian Perry. I mean, we're going to give him the ball 40 times a game because he was really, really good. So it's kind of take what you got, take what the defense is giving you, and again, the quarterback's driving the car. He's the one who's going to say, hey, look, there's 5 in the box, or they're giving us this coverage, or whatever. And a lot of our plays have multiple plays within one. So it allows the quarterback to put us in the best possible situation.
And when those plays are coming in, are you going to take over the play call? Are you going to be the play calling duty on Friday night?
I'll be calling the plays. It'll be a little different. We were joking about it. The coaches that are retained from the staff. I know Carter had 5 or 6 coaches who would signal in plays.
Right.
It's just going to be me.
It's going to be you signaling.
So we don't have
to worry about that.
Yeah, some of those guys are excited. They're not going to have to be, signaling plays in, but some of them are a little disappointed, I think.
They're not going to have anything to do there on the sideline, right? Yeah, I know. They have to actually coach instead of sit there and do anything. They're mad now. But that's a look at the offense. Defensively, I know Coach McKinney's been here for a while. With that group, but I know you've changed some things around on the defensive side.
Yep.
Can you talk a little bit about what we're going to see defensively out of the Artesians and who's going to be in charge on that end of the ball?
Yeah. So on the defense, we made a little change. Going to have Coach Trump call the defense, Coach Alan Trump, and I thought that was a good fit for a new philosophy coming in with me. Coach McKinney has been outstanding for us. He's still on with the defensive line. Him and Coach Mosgrip have stayed on staff, and they are both just fully bought into what we're doing. But I felt best that we bring in, Alan was here, but he's someone that could come in with a kind of a younger mentality and kind of a little bit energy and kind of bring in something just a little bit different and kind of show that we are changing some things. We are going to be a 4-2-5 defense. We're going to have basically two guys that are going to be flying around making lots of tackles. Let's put it that way. The way it's a hybrid defense, which allows kind of guy like Weston Pemberton and Adam Fields to really fly around and be free players and make lots of tackles. And that's the whole purpose of it. It's kind of based off some stack principles, but the whole purpose of our defense is to play fast and play physical.
So
we don't want to be thinking a lot. I don't want them making lots of checks. I want them to play fast.
You're going to have 4 down linemen, the 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs, but a couple of those defensive backs almost linebacker-esque, I'm guessing, is what will happen.
Hybrid type players, yep.
So let's talk a little bit about the players that are going to be manning those positions. We just talked a little bit about offense and defense. Let's flip back to the offensive side of the ball and talk a little bit about who you're going to look to. Obviously, if people have followed the Artesians in the past, they know we've got some guys coming back. The quarterback's back with Ty Martin. You got Ty Cox in the backfield back as well, and some other guys. But can you talk a little bit about who's going to be controlling things, who we're going to look at on Friday nights out for the offense?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I talked on the radio station the other day, and they asked about the quarterback situation. I've never been blessed to have multiple quarterbacks like with this. We've got what I would call is one of the deepest quarterback rooms in the state. With Ty Martin and Tyler Atkins, both just solid football players, and both going to be really good college football players too, in my opinion. Ty Martin is the senior returning starter who I think he started 2 games last year for the Artesians. Ty's going to have the keys of the car. He's going to be the guy in charge. He's going to be making a lot of decisions out there. He's come a long way since the start of July on having some confidence and having a plan and executing a plan. The arm strength is there. He slings it well. I'm really excited to see him kind of take the keys of the car and drive it a little bit and see where we go. Tyler Cox has been great for us. He's kind of really bought into the role of being the running back in our offense and kind of understand that it's all about numbers and about where a quarterback's going to put us in the best situation. And when he gets his opportunity, he's going to take advantage of it. So I'm really excited about him. One of the really nice things coming here from Martinsville is I think Coach Dilly and the offensive line has built a culture up there that's just phenomenal. I know he's got his 5-as-1 group thing that they've got going on there, and honestly, in 13 years of coaching, this might be the best offensive line I've ever been a part of. So I think they're a strong group. I think they're going to be able to do a really good job of opening holes up and keeping some pass pro for us. And I'm really excited about what that group can do. Out wide, we're a little young. We are. I mean, you lose a guy like Andy Myers, and you lose some talent out wide. Right. You're going to have some young guys step up. I think we've got some guys that are ready to do that. I think they're going to be pups out there. Guys like Garrett Skaggs and Cheatham, and those guys are just they're pups right now. Eventually, when Matt LaFerry gets out there, Matt's a returning guy. Matt's going to make lots of plays for us. I think he's kind of the steady Eddie in that group right now, and they all kind of look to him, and that's a really good thing for us.
So that's a look at the offensive side of the ball, some familiar names, some names that maybe you don't recognize, but hopefully will become more household names as the season flips on. Let's flip over to the defensive side, that 4-2-5 lineup. You mentioned a couple of kids, Weston Pemberton and Adam Fields. Now, Weston, most people know coming back from the injury. Adam's coming back from injuries. He's had them a long time. Yeah. And, boy, that kid getting healthy, it may be huge because he is a heck of an athlete.
Yeah, that's one of the big things. I talked to Coach Whitson when I took over, was the injuries last year. Just the amount of injuries that they experienced. And it's actually, and it's such a terrible thing, but it actually benefits us this year because guys like Ethan Potteroff and Bo Hess got valuable time last year. And those two look extremely, they look really well right now in the inside linebacker spots. They're manning that down. I feel very confident in our run stopping right now. I feel like those two are they're going to be keys to our defense on the inside. But not even the playmakers of Pemberton and Fields that you're going to have more in those hybrid roles, but just guys that are going to be kind of the backbone of the defense, even though they may not be the stars. So those two guys I think are going to have really good years. I think Larry Bland and DB corner is going to have a really good year for us. He's doing a really good job of buying in and kind of taking his role of playing the corner spot for us. And then up front, guys like Nigel Bryan, Malachi Pringle, Tanner Smith. I could go on and on. Our defense, I feel like our defensive line is pretty deep, and I feel like they're pretty talented. And they've gotten better since July. I mean, just fundamentally, technique-wise, Coach McKinney's done a phenomenal job of drilling them of what they're doing, and it's been fun at practice watching that group. I think our defense is going to be a little bit ahead of our offense right now, just because there's more experience there. But our offense, I think, is going to catch up, and I think we're going to have some fun this year.
So when you roll out the defense and people look out there on the field, they're going to see that front line. And linebacking-wise, the two guys that are going to be on the inside, Bo Hess and Ethan Potteroff. And then on the outside, you're going to have Weston and Adam Fields. Corners, Larry Bland. We got another corner and a safety in here. Do we know yet? Or are we still battling those things out?
Still kind of looking at some things. But right now, Charles Proctor looking at to be one of those corners probably. Down the road, Townsend will be a kid that I think will compete there as well. Jason Cox looking at the other linebacker hybrid spot a little bit along with Trevor Mosgrip. Okay. And Trevor's actually looking at getting some reps at DB as well. So Trevor's kind of an all the jack of all trades for us. He's learning lots of spots, and he's a sharp kid, and he's gonna contribute in a lot of ways for us this year.
So look at some of the Artesians, the setup, and how things are going to go offensively and defensively. There's always that third arm as well of the team, which is the special teams. And how is the special teams looking for you guys thus far in the preseason?
Well, as a former special teams coordinator, I take special teams really serious. Okay. Like I believe that we're going to get after it and block kicks. We're going to be aggressive on fourth down with our punt teams, and we're going to be aggressive on kickoff, and we're going to try and house every kickoff return. So we spend a lot of time. One of the kids the other day made the mention that, man, we spend a lot of time on special teams, and that's because we're going to win them. That's our philosophy. We're not going to just do the special team. We're going to win the special teams. So I expect us to make some big plays there. The kids are bought into that, and our best players, because we're platooning, are playing special teams versus taking a break on that play. Ethan Handline right now is booming the ball. He is doing a great job on kickoff and PAT and field goal. I think yesterday at practice he made a 49-yard field goal. It was a thing of beauty. So he's doing a great job on that. As far as our punt right now, it's probably going to be Weston Pemberton. He's going to be, again, another jack-of-all-trades kind of guy. We're going to do a little bit of rugby action with that and let him have a chance of reading the defense and kicking it if he needs to, or going and getting a first down for us. So
It'll be pretty interesting to be able to see as well with him out there running around with the football. I know he's done that in his past too.
Yeah.
I know he really likes running the ball too as well. Got my phone going off here. I'm going to try to silence it. The beauty of being on here live as well. Apologize for that. You had the scrimmage on Saturday over at Columbus, and I don't know how the coaches look at this, but that's a really good Columbus East ball club coming in.
Really,
so I don't know if you say, well, I guess you want to open or scrimmage against somebody that's really, really good, or if you're like, well, maybe not. But how do you take what happens in that scrimmage, knowing it's so controlled, knowing that they've got so many dudes back this year? How do you take what happens in that scrimmage and look at it, and how do you use it to be able to try to get kids better?
Yeah, as far as the scrimmage goes, it's not my favorite thing, just because I don't want to show too much in the scrimmage, offensively, defensively, and most importantly, I don't want anyone to get hurt. That's always the bummer of the scrimmage. We lost one of our receivers, Trevor Hott, broke his wrist. That's what I don't like about the scrimmage. But you kind of take you kind of really get in a little on what you're looking for as far as like, are we competing? Are we playing physical? Are we tackling well? Are we blocking well? And you look at the scrimmage. Overall, I mean, Columbus East they're really good. I think they're 9th or 10th in the 6A poll right now in the IFCA. And they look it. They're huge, and running back is really, really good. And I thought we held our own. I know the first play, guy kind of busted away, but there were 2 holds on it, so that kind of, that's probably why he busted away. But other than that, I thought we held our own. I thought our kids competed. I thought we made plays. And I mean, that's a top 10 team in 6A, and that's good for us that we're out there holding our own. So that's how we evaluated it, as we saw it as more of a successful day than anything.
So you're able to Columbus East, the opponent. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights, Cole, from the Columbus East contest, and you'll get here from the huddle cams. We'll start on the offensive side.
Just that was a great catch there by Trevor, and again, it's going to be it's a little bummer that he broke his wrist there. Not a little bummer, a major bummer, but good job by Ty getting the ball out and letting him make a play. Here's another good one here for Hott, again, across the middle, one of our 4 verticals there by Tyler. Good read, getting the ball out. I thought Daniel Ham did a great job on Saturday. We gave him probably the bulk of the carries to make sure Tyler didn't get beat up a little bit, and I thought Daniel Ham had a really good day as far as running the ball goes. I thought we tackled okay. I think we need to be better, but that's coach talk. That's going to be every week. We're going to talk about tackling better. But I mean, you see here, there's you count it up there. There's 9 guys flying to the ball right there. Obviously, we won 11, but that's good to see.
And this is a good running back, very good running back.
He's really good. Like I said, he was impressive. I thought he's going to have a big year, and I thought we did a good job containing him.
And a huge offensive line too, like you mentioned.
Yeah. Good job there by Jake Hamilton, squeezing that, coming down the line, making the tackle. I said our defensive line's really bought into what Coach McKinney's got. It's a good job by Ty right here, extending the play out here on a little half sprint, and again, finding Trevor Hott. Trevor did a good job filling in for Chase Mabry, who was out the other day. It's a good job there by Cheatham going up and getting that ball, a little underthrown, but sometimes receivers got to make plays, and we got a little touchdown action out of that. And here again, here's Tyler making a little scramble action, getting us down closer to the goal line. Again, you're not trying to show too much in the scrimmage. You're just trying to see guys tackling, flying to the football here. It's kind of what we're looking for. And again, as a coach, we walked away feeling pretty good about that happening.
Obviously, and when Coach Whitson used to be here, that was the same thing.
Yeah.
He always echoed, want to get a lot of people in, don't want anybody to get hurt, we don't want to show anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially being a first-year head coach here as well, you don't want to give too much away on the game tape when you're getting ready to open up. That opener is coming up on Friday night. I'm sure you guys are pumped and fired up.
Just a little bit.
Just to actually get there and play, you'll have to get on the buses and go down to Bedford North Lawrence to battle the Stars. Talk a little bit about what we can expect out of Bedford offensively and defensively on Friday night.
Well, Bedford is, first of all, what they do is really, really tough. It makes you play fundamentally sound football on both sides of the ball. They are they're a triple option team, and that if you're not playing assignment football on that, you're going to get gashed. You're going to give up big plays. The quarterback in the scrimmage, I believe, went for 12 carries for like 190 yards against Mitchell. So he had a really big night as far as running the ball. So obviously that's going to be a big focus for us, just making sure we're getting him down on the ground and flying to the football with multiple guys, not getting gang tackles and trying to poke the ball out a little bit if we can. But that triple option is really, really tough to prepare for. You look at the college level, and it seems like when everybody plays like Army or Navy that week, if they don't have multiple days to prep for it, it's like they struggle a little bit because it kind of takes some of the game planning out. No, you got to do your job every single time. And that's where I talk about the defensive line. Coach McKinney has been drilling those guys. Trust your keys, read your keys, do all those things. And he's done a great job, and I feel pretty confident going up against that triple option up front and making the quarterback pitch it and making sure we're making tackles with the running back. Defensively, they've been a 4-4 cover 3 team. That's predominantly what they've played in the last few years. This year on paper, they're showing us that they're moving to a stack, and that's what we saw in the scrimmage. So again, unless they're playing games with us in the scrimmage, which some teams will do, that's what we're expecting is a stack defense. And the stack is it can be tricky to go against because it allows you to do a lot more blitzing and a lot more stunts, a lot more movement. And if you don't really stick to your rules and you don't really communicate up front, that can cause lots and lots of problems. So that's been what we've been harping on all week, communication up front, that 5 is 1, really being on the same page. And if those guys can handle that, I really think we could have a good big day throwing the ball and even running the ball too. I think certain looks and certain formations, we're going to be able to do some good run things out of it.
So knowing what they're going to do offensively and defensively on Friday night, what is it going to be important for your guys to do on the flip side, offensively and defensively, to be successful?
Well, offensively, I kind of talked about it as far as making sure we're communicating and,
right.
and everybody's on the same page, and our quarterback's doing a good job of identifying who the hots are, and just making sure we're all on the same page. Communication is going to be a huge part of our success on Friday night. I think another thing, our tempo, they got a lot of two-way players, guys that are, I know, like for example, number 21 starts at free safety and running back. So he's going to have a long night if we're pushing the tempo and making it harder on him to get set and play every single snap. That's going to be a good thing for us. Defensively, again, like I said, it's all about reading our keys and trusting our gaps and our assignments, not going rogue, not doing your own thing and going to make a play, but understanding if you got the dive, you got the dive. If you got the quarterback, you got the quarterback. So if we're doing those things, I really like our chances Friday night.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking time to join us and talking a little bit about Artesian football. Really excited and ready to go, and I'm sure you guys are fired up to get down there on Friday.
Oh, yeah, we're ready. I don't know who's not ready right now. I think everybody's ready to go against somebody and compete and play and have some fun.
So we'll be down there. We won't be down there, but you can tune in. Bedford North Lawrence will be doing a live stream. They've really limited on who can go there. We aren't allowed to go there, so it'll be their live stream. We'll have a link to it on our social media, as will Martinsville as well. Not a ton of fans from Martinsville will be able to get down, but at least watch it, support the Artesians online, and we'll be able to go live on next Friday against Bloomington South. But, Coach, we appreciate you joining us once again. Good luck down there on Friday.
Hey, thanks for having me. We're excited to get going.
That's head coach Brian Duggar here. Inside Martinsville football, the Artesians ready to go on Friday against the Bedford North Lawrence Stars. As always, I'd like to thank the head coach for coming in, for the head coach Brian Duggar, along with Dylan Roden and Cole Meyer, who came in to help produce this. I'm Eric Meyer. We'll see you again next time inside Martinsville football.
He's got a man wide open. Can he come down with it? He does!